So as I promised, I am back on, and this might be a little bit of a long video. So what I'm doing is hand sewing another hat together, um, like the Boro Sashiko hat I showed you earlier, and like this one here. These are my hats actually. These were in the fashion show. And this one really popped. One of the models, and everybody really loved this one. When I made this one, I had made it to kind of fit like this. And the models, just by themselves, at the Strut Fashion Show that we had in Burlington, Vermont, just started to fold up the brim just all by themselves, and it became a whole new style, and it was like, it just really looked great. So I folded up my brim, so I'm loving it. Anyway, so with that, if you're new to the channel, we create with all recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies, and it's our way to give the earth a little hug. And a few of the recent videos that we did on this channel is this morning we were talking about landfills and the effects of landfills on the environment, and just a few key highlights. And then before that, we had started this hat, our Boro Sashiko, and we're continuing to sew it. So today I'm bringing you along with me, and so please jump on board, join us. It's totally free. And I think what I'm going to do is probably for the sake of you, I don't know, maybe you can see me. So if I put this camera down, let's see if I put it like that. But I think it might be easier on the table. So we're going to move over there, and I'll have to walk back and forth a few times, so I'm going to just bring you with me, and we'll just sit over here. It's just the reason I kind of moved away from here is because of the light, the lighting. There's a lot of sun coming in, and I don't. I'll be right back. I don't want to close the drapes because the birds are getting some sun. So, anyway, you can tell I love hats. The hat I just showed you, is this hat. Let me show you. It's this hat on my book. So I'm pretty sure it's the same hat. Hold on a second. Okay, so this is the thing. This is how style occurs. This hat right here, I made that hat. I loved it. I wore it. This is the hat right here. Oh no, is that? Yeah, this is one. So when I made it to be like this. And when we had the fashion show, one of the models took it and she just folded it up like this. I mean, and did it ever make everybody totally loved it. I mean, totally. You know, all the stitches were showing. But this is how trends and kind of fashion trends occur. You know, you just kind of do what you want to do. So here's another one of my hats. I'm saying my hats because I actually wear these. I wear this one in the summer, and I love it, love it. And I do wear this one too. And the one that I have on, I don't typically wear, but I decided to wear it. And to be honest, I gotta stop wearing them and start, selling them. So that's why, well, I did sell one recently. So I just want to share something with you before we begin. For those of you getting your fabric, how many of you have denim out there? And let me just get everything together because I want to share some things with you on your fabrics. Okay, so this, I'm using denim, and I'm going to talk to those of you who followed me on the last video. And if you didn't, go ahead back and just take a look at that video so you have an idea. See if we can get the finches on there. I guess not, but see, check it out. And you can see how I started it, and then you'll understand what I'm saying in this video. But before we begin, I want to show you this fabric. This is kind of a thick cotton type of fabric, and I just need to move some things here. And I got another one. I want to show you something else I'm thinking of. You're going to love this. Oh, wait till I show you. Just hold on. Okay, but first let me show you this. Check this out. This is, okay, it's just a simple plaid, but it's heavy. So this would be perfect as a crown diameter. I was trying to find, let me show you what I mean, the crown diameters. For those of you not sure, and I hate to tell you, I know someone said sit, would you, Carmella? But you know what? I got to get up one more time in a minute to get the rest of my denim. So these are the crown diameters, okay? These are what you want, about a 9, 10 inch diameter, okay? So how do you know you have that? Fold it in half, you fold it in half, and then you measure, when you measure this way, okay, see if I have my measure. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry guys, I do need to get up. But wait till you see what I have. This is moving everything back over here. So I did think I was set, but I can't be too far away from all my fabrics. So you fold the piece, your diameter, in half, okay? And measure it, and you're gonna see, okay, it's an 8. So 8 is technically 16 inch diameter. And is that it? No. That is 8, yes. I did, that's why these were put to the side, because I went a little smaller. But this one must be bigger. Actually, 8, 9, 10. 8 will give you, once you add your pieces around, depending how you add them, because you could spread them out as you're going down. You could get between 16 to 19. I mean, you could, and this one's 8.5. Okay, so I think that's why I had these to the side. Can I make a hat with these? Yes. These round pieces are your crowns. Okay, these are your crown that you start with. Okay. So with that, hopefully I didn't confuse you. And I'll put that to the side. So let me just show you a couple of pieces of material before we start, because I'm thinking of using these scrap materials with the denim, and then I'll tell you what I did. So these are all fabrics a friend of mine had given me a long time ago, and I didn't really know what to do with them. I mean, these are old. These are like vintage, and I've washed them and dried them, and yeah, these are all clean because they were so old. But I was afraid to even wash them, but they did stay together. But aren't they gorgeous? So, I mean, this to me, I would add like just to the top part, and then I would like trim it, and then I would do sashiko stitching if I use it. I may not use it on this hat. We have a number of hats to do. We have a number of hats to do. So together we can do these. But let me show you the other one. Wait till you see this idea. These are very old also. These are doilies I got at the thrift shop. I don't know why you just find these all over the place. These are small diameter. Okay, these are, let's see here. I want to say 5 right off the bat, but yeah, they are. They're 5 going across like that. So you're going to multiply it by 2 and you're going to say 10 inch diameter circle going around. So this could be easily put like on the crown. I mean, it could, or even like on the side. And when you do the sashiko stitching through that, oh my gosh. So anyway, that's kind of a couple of ideas. I'm just keeping those to the side. And then check out this fabric. This is again like a doily type. Look, it's a beautiful, beautiful pink and white. So anyway, thank you for coming back. I just wanted to kind of throw those out if you're out there getting your scraps. So for those of you who were here earlier, so when you saw the hat, we had it placed like directly like that, so it's covering the face. And now I'm still sewing, and I'm going to start sewing again in a minute. And what I did is, for the moment, I just went around and trimmed the excessive pieces of denim that were way down here, okay? And these pieces on the side are about 5 inches. These are about 5, let's see here. They're about 5 inches down, plus maybe 5.5. Now, when you count from like the middle of the crown here, you're usually going to get about like 8 or 8 plus. For those of you who crochet, you know that you take your where's my crochet hat? You take your crochet hat like this, okay, and you fold it. This is where we started our crochet, okay? And I'm just pointing this out for a reason. So you take from there and you measure down, and it's about 10. That's why I got it folded up, because you typically, it will be about 8 to come here. And if you want it longer and you want to be able to fold it, yes, make it 10. But always remember to crochet stretches, and your fabric doesn't. So the reason I'm pointing that out is I'm just showing you the difference between the crochet and the fabric. In case you do crochet, you'll understand better how I'm measuring from the top of the crown. That's the same. Where are my hats here? The same here is like just taking the hat, your fabric hat, hold it up like that, and then you measure from here to here. If it's less than 8, you're going to get like this, like a half hat, you know, fit above the ears. A lot of times it could be 7 if it's for smaller. Yeah, see, it's 8, you see? It's 8 right on. Okay, so just wanted to give you that tip for those of you who are out there trying, you're like, hey, I'm going to start making some hats like Carmella, but there's no pattern to these. Okay, so, but you know that, there's no pattern. Okay, oh, I lost the, I did lose my sewing needle. I will find it. Here's one, I can use this. Okay, so I think it fell out because I kind of, or I took it out. I actually took it out. Okay, so let's start sewing. And my scissors are on this side of the room. So if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. And I'm happy that you're getting inspired. And yeah, if you have a thick piece of cotton fabric, it doesn't have to be the denim. You can make your 8, 9, 10, um, or I should say 16, 20, 22-inch diameter um, crown to go to start making your hat. So with that, I'm gonna start. I'm going to leave the piece on the model for the minute. And very shortly, I'll be able to take it off and then just start really like doing my, let's see if you can see this. That's kind of going down a lot there. It's almost too much. I think what do you call it? Let's see, that's kind of near the camera. I'll put it over here. Yeah, that's better. The little tray that it's sitting in is getting old. So, okay, let's see. I'm just looking at my sides. Here, this is the seam I want, and it's overlapping a nice, this I have like a choice. I can just, it is overlapping a pretty good amount there. And let's see exactly. It looks like, yeah, I mean, that's a good inch right there. And, you want at least a half an inch. So I'm just gonna let my thread stay there for the moment. And I'm gonna start inside here. Now, after I sew this, if I'm really not happy with this here, with how it's closing, the beautiful thing about Boro is I could put a patch on it. I could take it apart, or I could put a patch on it. So for the minute, I'm just going to pin this and keep this in place. Okay, there we go. Now I can just hold it like this, and this is the beauty of having the model head. Is now I've taken this off a few times, but I usually have it pinned on in several areas, but I don't have the pins up here right now because I've taken it off. I took it off and I wanted to see how it fit on my own head, and because once you do this part of your sewing, once you have the crown intact and you have your panels or your scrap pieces, you're starting to shape your hat, your wearable art. You want to start shifting the hat, and I'm going to show you what I mean in a moment, because you're going to start wanting to actually use the model head as it is, as it's meant to be used, to see if the hat is actually fitting. And so you can start kind of testing it out. Now this model head is a little small. This is like a 19-inch diameter. 19-20. So it's considered a small woman's size. Okay. So now, there's so much more to be done here, but let me just show you what I mean. So you start, here's the face of the model right here. So we start kind of moving the hat and just kind of see how it's going to be looking on a regular, on a regular head. So then you can see here, and this is small, so yeah, that's totally fine. There's plenty of room there. That's really good. That's what you want. You want it to be a little roomy. If this hat is really tight onto this particular model head, it's not going to even, it might not fit a small even. So you definitely want some space there, but you can put it like this, to work on it. So, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Now, I really could move this, so I'm going to take it off the model head now for me, and I just wanted to show you that. So I want to start moving around a little bit here. And I want to start adding, for me, I would like to get this technically sewn, this part of it. So I'm just going to kind of go over there, and we'll come back because we're going to be on here a little bit for those of you who are new to Boro, Sashiko inspired. This is the Japanese method of patchwork, but it is so much more than that. So we're just grabbing, for me anyway, I'm grabbing a number of stitches and I'm pushing the sashiko needle or embroidery needle, whatever you're using, through. Okay? And because I want to get over here. So I'm just doing my stitches to get over there. I could have tied it out in the back, yes. Whoops, it came out. As my thread fell out of my needle. Where is it? Oops, here it is. Is that it? Yeah. So let me just pull that through. Make it snug. This is almost too long, the thread. So you want to make it about an arm's length, but not longer, because then it starts to kind of knot up on you. Okay, so I'm not going to do any whip stitching on my seams yet, because I feel like I may take pieces like this, like actual seam, and add it here, and kind of cut this and manipulate that a little bit, and then but at the same time I want to add also some patches. So I just kind of, for me, I do things a little impromptu based on what it is my piece is looking like. And these stitches are purely decorative here. And now another thing to watch for, this particular denim right here, it's stretchy. So it has spandex in it. So the spandex is going to act a little funky with your cotton thread there. It just is. The cotton thread may not hug it like it does here with like an all cotton denim. You end up with a piece that has spandex and rubber in it. Your thread acts differently, and it just does. So anyway, I'm going to go up. I'm sewing up this way because I want to go along the seam. And once I get all of my patches done on my seams, I can then start focusing on my decor. And some of the traditionalists out there are saying, well, you're doing it wrong. You got to do it from the inside. You got to turn it inside out. You got to remember this is Boro Sashiko, based on the method of very raw running stitches, and they're not meant to be straight. They're meant to be ancient. They are meant to be ancient looking, as they are. That's what they are. And but as the families historically were sewing like this, they were over hundreds of years. We're talking, well, they want to document the 1400s, but it was well before that. But so let's say from 1400s to 1900s, or let's say mid 1800s, so over 400 years. after 400 years of doing the running stitch like this, the families started to use, when they got out of poverty, they started to use stitches for adornment. And that is what a lot of you will know as sashiko stitching. And you'll see the stitches on jean coats, and people will do them to perfection. And they'll be like, look what I did, because they got a grid. And it's like really, really, really pretty. They got a grid to kind of follow the design. And a lot of the designs are like this. They're kind of like, you know, like little circles or X's. They're repetitive, or shells, like that. So most of the pieces now are in the museums. Okay, so I'm just focusing on this part, and I want to show you something, because right here, okay, this is what I love about the different scrap pieces, is you get texture. But look right here, you see here? Now I can flip that and I can cut it off, that seam, or I can flatten it out straight down, or just leave it. It's already flat down here. So I like that right there. I'm just going to leave it. And right here, I don't know if you can see, we have right here, see? This is, there's space here, total enough space to be totally adding a patch. You can leave the space, and you can actually do a sashiko stitch around that. Let's see. No, this is not, this is coming too far up. So I'm going to show you, did I do it in the other hat? Let's see. See if I did it in this hat. Here I did something to the effect, but not exactly what I'm talking about. I'll have to show you. But right here, this piece has a rip in it. Underneath is actually another piece of denim. So that's one way you can play around with the rips and the kind of tattered looking, you know, fraying and, you know, creating Boro effect. Or you can have the rip, right, leave it and don't put another piece of fabric under it, and just stitch around the edges of it. And I'll show you how to do that. We'll do that at some point, because that's a lovely, very raw look, another decorative raw kind of look. I'm going to do a whip stitch here. And I like to change my stitches as I go along. I like to do a stitch that I think is really good for the part of the hat that I am working on. This could have been a blanket stitch, and I might still do that. I might go back and do a blanket stitch. So and this piece right here is coming up. I don't know if you can see it. It's coming all the way up to my seam. And as I sew, it's covering it more. So for me, I just want to trim that. Again, this is not a pattern. This is creativity. It's what I'm looking at visually, what I want. And I could take that piece and I could just sew it like onto the hat somewhere. I'm not going to do that at this moment, but I could. Okay. So now I'm going to turn the hat like this. And I'm continuing my sashiko stitching. Now, some people are probably saying, oh, why don't you turn that inside out? And you can. You can turn it inside out, and you can actually draw, if you wanted to, for example, either on a piece of paper or on your fabric, draw your designs, the flowers that you want to make with your sashiko stitching, whatever it is that you want to make. You could do it that way, yes, from the inside. I prefer this way because I like to see my designs on the outside. I'm just kind of like doing my stitching. So I'll show you my stitching in about 2 seconds here. This, I'm running out of yarn, so I'm going to bring it in. Now all of this will have a lining, okay? Here's some fraying going on. Fraying is an inherent part of this, of the process. I'll put this here. And I just love this because I'm going to show you, I mean, there's so many creative ways that you can create your hat. You don't have to do it in any particular way. You can get as creative as you want. So this, yeah, I guess I could leave that there. So there's another piece I want to get sewn down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, and then when you come up to focus on your crown, I'm going to just take the seam off. I like the seam up there. I'll probably add it again. Oh, I did sew it. Look, see, I sewed it. So that's good. That's good. I just kind of wanted, the pin keeps going in my hand. So, but this is in this particular circle is this pocket. You see the pocket to the jeans? So that's going to be sewn closed because I don't want someone wearing wearable. I mean, they could, I guess, put something in there, but I don't think it would be wise, you know what I mean? But it's an idea. Anyway, it's wearable art. It's an art statement, an art fashion. So I'm going to get some more yarn, thread, and I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to start putting some red on here. And then I'm going to start getting I'm going to add a couple of patches after I do this, because for this particular project, I want maybe a couple of hearts on here, or a couple of patches. And this is going to be, it is still winter. We have a lot of winter left, but I'd kind of like this to be like maybe starting to celebrate spring, and maybe I have a lot of floral fabrics. So, and I have some with kind of like little butterflies and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. It's all in how you decide to add your pieces. And you can create your Boro inspired pieces before you put your panels together, like I did with this one. This one was more strategic. It was all the panels I did first, and then I put them together. So we'll do a hat like that too. And then I did machine sewing with this one. So that's another way. Like I said, there's no, I just really love creating a piece of art, sculpted art, really, soft sculpture. That's kind of how I look at these. And the denim is very easy to sew through, okay? And it should be. If you have 2 or 3 layers, it should still be fairly simplistic to go through. But you see how the red starts to change the aesthetic of it. already. I'm going to turn it this way because I want to come up through here and get some. And what I do is make sure in the back, I'm just going to show you this for those of you who are putting together a project. I want to show you something. In the back, inside, you have all kinds of pieces moving around. You know, they may be not completely attached in this and that. So there may be room to trim, but you got to be careful with that. You really want at least that inch overlapping to make sure it's nice and sewn and secure. In my opinion, that's how I do it, make sure it's highly strong. So you just want to make sure that it's not like flapped over like that, because I've done that. It does happen, you know, like kind of the corner turned up and flapped up, and then you're sewing it incorrectly. But maybe that's an argument to turn it inside out. But I really like to do it this way because I like to see what's going on with the aesthetic as I'm sewing stitch by stitch. I want to see, okay, is something changing? Is this the way that I want to go? You know, what's the vibe that's happening here? And like that. So that's how I do it, is I sew the stitches on the front. So when I see something like this, now I feel like I want to put a few more stitches up this way. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And this is lovely. And the red, when you change the colors of your, it just starts to make it really pop. You know, because it gives it your original design. It gives it authenticity. Even though these are Boro inspired, and I do not consider these like, you know, an authentic heirloom Boro. I don't, because I am inspired by the authentic pieces of Boro. Now I'm going to go down through here, and I just kind of want to take a look at my patches. Okay. And I just want to get a couple. Now, and the lovely thing is you can do stars, and I usually do that. Stars, crosses, you can do the French knots. If you do the French knots, you really want to make sure that they're secure, because sometimes those will unravel if they're not sewn in correctly. And I've seen that happen. So now I'm running out of thread, and I'm just going to come through here, and I'm going to weave it through all of the other stitches I have right here. I'm just going to weave it through, and then that way when we put the lining on, these are all secure. And I'm just going to give it one tiny little knot. I'm not going to do bunches of knots. I'm just going to do one small one because I already wove it through and gave it a knot already. And some people leave those really long. And then, you know, I'm kind of looking at it as I go along. And I'm looking at my edges and thinking what the design is I might want on my edges, my brim, as I go along. I have lots and lots of work to do still on this. So, let's see here. Okay, and up here. So, up here, Usually what I do is when I um, when I kind of sew this in the middle, sometimes, and I sew more stitches around here. Sometimes what happens is these edges might come out a little more. If they're out and I feel like they need a little trim, I'll go ahead and trim them. And or if I feel like they need a couple of extra stitches, I'll go ahead and stitch them. So I'm kind of curious. I want to try this on, but now I got to take this hat off. So, and this way we'll get a really good idea on kind of where we're at here. And I gotta make sure there's no pins. I like that there. So this happens to be my size. Even if it's not, if it's too large, I'll put it on. I don't care. But this will tell me on my brim too. Put it. Oh, I kind of like that right there. Yeah. The seam coming up. See how that's coming up? But you can leave it like that. Oh, my glasses. Hold on. So this is a little for me. So what I would do is bring it back. So I just want to see something. I just want to show you something. Oh, here they are. Okay, so I just want to do this because this is what I do. I'll do something like this. So I have a bunch of little hearts cut out. So for this, so these seams and this faux leather and this brand, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. That is a piece of art right there. Now let me turn the hat. Hang on. Okay, and I can feel the room. There's like plenty of room in this hat. And these, because I did a back to back instead of doing the top over. So I just want to see if I put a heart on there. Okay, there's a heart. I could put a heart here. I'm just looking at the hearts and how they stand out against the, that's a very small, yeah, fabric. Small design. Yeah, I'm loving this one right here. And I'm thinking now, even on this side of the hat, now I can feel the little stretch there. Oh, this is nice right here. Try this side of the hat. Just turn it. Yeah. So for me, might start adding hearts like here. I think I might put a heart on, like, and just let this little piece of art of fabrics kind of just build a little there and just let that design stay. And maybe kind of put this, maybe just start with this heart. I'm loving that. I just want to see what this heart looks like. No, nothing. So these don't really do it. Like the red might, but I don't know. That's cliche. This seems to stand out in kind of well, thank you, Wobbly. Thank you, Tobias. Thank you, guys. This hat is not nearly done yet, guys. So I'm gonna take it off, and but look at it. I mean, um, so there's the seam I have on top, and this, what I'd want to do is just take this corner off. I want that corner off, and I just want to see something now. Oh yeah. That corner had to come off. Okay. So what we're gonna do, really like this. So let me just show you something. Okay, let's get it back on the model head for a minute. And where'd that poor model head go? Here it is. So I'm just going to show you. We're going to sew a heart on, but I just kind of want to show you how. Oh, look at that. The loop-de-loop. Oh, I like that. See, this is how it happens. You could do loop-de-loops like that all around. I'm not even kidding either. You could do loop-de-loops. We could do loop-de-loops. I know people think, oh God, now she's losing it. But look, wait. Loop-de-loops with little hearts all the way around. What designer would not love that right now? So some designer should really bring me on to help them design, because I am crazy creative. I'm telling you right now. I have to hold back. I have to, because I don't have room. It's most artists don't, for all their creativity. Okay, so I love the loop-de-loop stuff. Okay, so now let's take this belt seam and see. Now you gotta remember, we've got a seam here. So if we want to be consistent, and we don't have to be consistent, as you can see with this one, you know, we've got a seam on some parts of it, see? And then we don't. So it's just kind of, what you're seeing is the sewing machine threads there. Okay, so let's see here. I just want to see how much room I have there. Oh my God. If this is not perfect, I don't know what is. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. Let me just see something. So now you got to figure out, do you want all of this tattered unevenness on it? And you can have it on there. It would just add to the aesthetic. And do you want these seams on? So these seams, if they stay on, you've got to sew them down, okay? If you use your seams. So, and then we even have the opportunity here, see here? To put a button in if we want to. So let's just pin this on and let's see what we get for an aesthetic. We're going to hold off on the heart for a minute. Probably those poor little hearts. I keep shoving them around all week. Okay. So I am building on my hat, okay? And I'm going to show you the difference of, I don't typically keep trying it on, trying it out. I don't need to anymore, but I'm doing it for you. I want to show you. I don't need to anymore because I have the model head. I know the sizes, and I know pretty much what I'm doing at this point. But when I first started that, I did try it on a lot. Yes, I had to, because to gain perspective. Okay, now here, now I could, yeah, here's the seam. You see it? Here's the seam we're coming to. Now we could overlap it. Just, oh, shoot. No. We could, but I'm not going to. That's too thick. I'm not going to do that. I don't mind overlapping it, oh, like a half an inch. So I'm going to take this part off and use it on another. You don't even have to overlap this. Hold on. We're going to cut it flush. We're going to cut it flush because the seams are quilted. They're thick. I don't want all that thickness on that part of the hat. So I've got this now, and I could put it on another part of the hat. So now what I'm going to do is pin this. You got to be careful when you're pinning it and then trying it on. That's the only thing you got to be careful of. And or just sew it and try it on, or you could use tape too. Okay, so let's, because I'm curious, I want to see the difference that made. Make sure this is pinned on good. Yes, I like it cut flush. That's much better. There's no, the reason we're not so worried with the seam going around the edge overlapping the other part of the seam is because we have plenty of denim right there. We're not covering empty spaces. We're just doing this seam for aesthetics. That's what this is. Okay. So with that, and you definitely want it, this piece right here, this is my little, you can't see it, but it's definitely a weak open space. So I may end up putting this here to, most likely, because that's my little weak open space. And the thing is, you're not going to forget about those spaces, because as you're adding these, you're going to turn it upside down. See it? You can see it? See it? The little hole right there is a space. So you're going to turn it upside down. You're going to look at it. You're going to make sure that these spaces are fully covered. So, okay, let me try this on. Oh, wait, I want the art part in the front. I may just add more art to it. Oh yeah, hang on, I gotta take my glasses off because it's a little big for me. But I do need my glasses to see. Okay, yeah. No, I do like that with you see the difference with the evenness there? Now, if I didn't add that, I would do that's got to be I would do a whip stitch. This is WIP, so, we're still working on it. Yeah. So when this is, let me put this part in the front. Okay, see it? I mean, that's a nice hat. It is too big on me, but I'm loving that on somebody. Okay, let's put it on the model. On somebody, that's going to be gorgeous. It's someone's hat. When I make a hat, I know automatically it's a masterpiece for someone. There's that right person who is going to put it on and love it. Okay, so let's put it on the model and just kind of take a look. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I see here? Right here, when I looked at that, my eye accidentally, it didn't see it, but I visualized tweed. I thought that might look nice here. I'm going to tell you something. In some of my hats, sometimes I have added twine. But when I add it, I do very little coils of it and sew it. I don't glue it. I don't tie it. I don't put it on loosely. And I'm telling you the reason I don't is twine will lift. It will lift and separate in probably not too long into the future. Someone's wearing their beautiful art wearable hat. And they go out and it rains and there's a piece of twine that's tied. It's going to swell up on them. That's the natural fiber of the twine will swell and it will lift and it will be totally terrible. Now, if it's sewn down, you minimize like really well. you're doing your sashiko stitching and just putting it, melding it right into the fabric, into the cotton, it might not, it will be a nice little aesthetic. You don't need a lot of it. Like, I'm just giving you some tips on design, okay? Your blended fibers won't do that so much, because that's the problem with the blended and the fast fashion, synthetics, acrylics, and all of that. They don't break down like for years and years and years and years. And then when they do, they're emitting toxins into the atmosphere. So if you use like this is really pretty. This is a totally different vibe. We're going to do a fashion like this. You're going to love it. This, you could take not too thin of a strip of it or piece of it, and you could sew it in, but you got to be careful, maybe double it up. But this would be double it up and then sew it. This would be a nice strong piece of a fiber to add to your hat. So anyway, and we're going to get into the tool too, because I got to tell you, I got to use it. And this is some of it right here. Look. See it? This is another super strong fiber that would go just adorable with any denims. So anyway, I hope that that gives you some ideas. I'm going to continue stitching this adorable little hat. And what I'm going to do is refine the edge up here, or the edges of my crown, and stitch that and maybe add some other fibers. Maybe I add the hearts, maybe I don't. I'm looking at this right here and thinking this is the dominant design of this hat. Gorgeous. We have so many hats to do. Okay, I have places I have to get these hats out. And it's not like I'm trying to do them like a production line. I'm doing them from my heart, you know, from my soul, from my energy, from my creativity. So each one is different and just adorable. So, and for someone special. So with that, I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions, if you're working on your hat, if you need help with measures, if you need help with, you know, the fabrics you're using or the stitches you're using or how you're putting it together. I am happy to answer, because I want to inspire you and hope that you enjoy creating with scrap fabrics. So with that, you have an absolutely beautiful day. Love and light.